What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame presented by Circus Sportsbook. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app today. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Joined by, in studio, our pal producer Joey Mathis. And on the sidebar, just for pregame, he'll be here sitting next to me for post, our guy, Big Dave. Bow. BAWL Sports. What's up, Dave?
What's going on, sir? Happy to be here. You know, I don't like missing shows at all. So if I like being here for a show, even if I could do it from home, I'm going to do it. But yes, I would definitely be there for the game. I would definitely be there for post game. Hopefully talking about a win for the Chicago Bulls because they desperately need one. It's not a must win, but they need one.
Is it a must win? Is it possible to have a must win when it's game 2 of 82? It certainly feels like that. On that note, Joseph in the comments said, let's see if the meeting worked. Yeah, excited to find out. We will discuss said meeting later on in tonight's pregame. But Dave, I felt like after as rough as that Wednesday night debut was, we needed to start pregame with something positive. Bulls fans looking for positive vibes. Lo and behold, we got those positive vibes from our pal Ayo Dosunmu. It was announced yesterday that he was the off-season winner of the NBA Cares Bob Lanier Community Assist Award. We've got video of Ayo hearing about this with his teammates at the Bulls facility yesterday. Joey, if you will, please.
A great work you did in the offseason, Ayo. You actually won the NBA's Bob Lanier Community Assist Award.
I wanted to assist this award to you for everything you have done for Beasley, being an alumni, doing everything you have done for the community, being the person you are, and standing out in the community. I want to thank you for everything you have done for us, the community, the kids that needed it, that actually hooping, and everything that you have done.
It's one of my goals to, give back to the community and make a huge part in the community. So, to win this award, I'm blessed and honored to keep helping and keep reaching out and using my platform to help reach new heights. So to win this award, I wouldn't do this without all of y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Just awesome stuff to see our guy Ayo Dosunmu representing the Bulls and doing good things in the community, Dave. Just like we know my guy Joakim Noah does. I mean, Joakim's retired, so it's easier to commit your time and efforts to charitable things. Ayo's doing this while he has the schedule of an NBA player. Very happy for him that he got this award. Seems like it is very deserving.
Incredibly deserving. To be so young and so mature, is just really impressive. Every time we talk to him, I believe we had that discussion, Matt. Like, man, he's a little beyond his years, when he speaks and says certain things. They're very wise. And, doing stuff like this just lets you know just how good of a person he is, wanting to help out the community, help out his school. Shout out to Beasley. If you're from around my area, you know Beasley already, and it was already a school that was spoken highly of. So shout out to Beasley for sure. But yeah, man, him just helping out public schools here in Chicago, him holding the camps that he does already, and it's always for the kids, you know what I mean? Like, it's just always for the kids and showing them love and, giving them hope and something they can strive forward to for somebody that came from the same place they came from. And we talked about that with Derrick Rose, and you spoke about that with Joakim Noah. Even though he's not from here, he understands, being from that same kind of place, just growing up in New York, you know what I mean? Even though he came from a different, probably a more well-off situation, Joakim Noah did, but he understands the grind, you know what I mean, of what goes on with the youth. So just seeing Ayo continue that forward, and of course, like I stated, being from here, that kind of adds to it, man. Just it's special.
And whether it's Ayo or his new teammate Javon Carter, who we were able to talk to at Bulls Fest about what Javon has already started up in Chicago, being a product of Maywood, Illinois. It means something to these guys that not only do they have the privilege to put a Bulls jersey on and go play for the team that they grew up rooting for, but can have these platforms to do good in the community. And I'm not trying to necessarily gloss over the rough start that the Bulls had to the season, because we're going to talk about it in a second. But regardless of what's going on the court, I think something Bulls fans can always be appreciative of and smile about is that when it comes to this kind of stuff, and NBA cares, but Bulls charities in particular, none of this stuff is just lip service. And you see the actual effects, seeing those students who have been positively impacted by the effort Ayo is making in the community. And as you said, especially for these kids, it makes your heart warm. Regardless of how cynical you feel as a Bulls fan about the basketball that's happening, it always overpowers that and makes your heart warm.
It does. It makes you feel good. And to get an award named after a great like Bob Lanier also just makes it even more special, those kind of things like that. If you don't know who Bob Lanier is, just go do your homework real quick and check him out. Definitely a Hall of Famer, but also just an awesome human being as well. Rest in love to him. But yeah, man, like just him receiving these awards and putting that kind of spotlight, not only on, not trying to put it on himself, but, just putting it on him and the team and things like that. Like, we are out here trying to do something and just trying to uplift, you know what I'm saying? And help these children out here, man. Like, that's really what it's all about. And for him to have that mindset, I mean, he's in his young 20s, bro. Like, he could just be sitting around chilling, playing video games all day. And you wouldn't have a problem with it. You'd be like, okay, great. Like, this is what 20-year-olds do. They play video games, they eat, they have fun, and then he's going to go work on his game. And you wouldn't even have anything to say about it. But the fact that he puts this into, a daily routine of his life, Matt, is saying a lot about a young dude. Because I can't even say that I would be doing that at that age. You know what I mean? I wasn't that far along in my maturity to even be doing something like that, what he's doing. So when I see where he's at and just handling it as a professional and as an adult and as somebody who has a heart and cares, it's dope, man. Like, it's just really dope. I can't say enough about it.
It is really interesting to see. Like, obviously, professional athletes, excel at it in varying degrees, and some struggle with it. When that's put on you as part of the gig, you make it all the way to the pros, whether it's the NBA or any other sport. You sort of become by default this role model, this example for the kids in your community, for the kids who cheer for the team you play for. And it's not something that every professional athlete wants. Some of them just say, well, I mean, this comes with the territory, so I'll show up when it's mandatory. I'll do this event and that event and, check this box and check that box. It's really cool when you see true evidence of guys who represent the team that you ride or die for every hour of every day, every year of your life. And you can tell that it truly does mean something to them beyond just, well, it's part of the gig. And you can tell. I feel like it's not that hard to tell the difference between guys who do it because it comes with the territory and the guys that embrace it.
Absolutely right. And a guy who grew up in the area, you don't fault guys when they leave that area. You know what I mean? You just don't. But for him to say, okay, I left it, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to give back. Like, that's what it's about right there. It's giving back and reaching that hand out to help others, because how you grew up, and I don't know, who helped him along his journey or helped him along his way, but just meeting his parents and, speaking to him, I know they have something to do with it. You know what I mean? Because those are incredible people right there. Like, for real. Shout out to his mother and father. Those incredible people. So I know they had something to do with that. But the fact he's just doing those things, reaching back, and also, that he's still involved with his school as far as University of Illinois, his college, he's still involved with them. So I'm sure he's doing work with them also. Like, he kind of just has it really lined up, man. And it's just cool to say, like, he plays for my team and he's from my city. Yeah. Like, this is what we need to be taught and focusing on more, because people will focus on the BS a lot about Chicago and about the kids who come up in the areas that he came from, that I'm from. Like, you hear about that stuff all the time, but they won't speak about this. So to shine that kind of light, you know what I mean, on him, so he can continue to shine his light upon everyone else and continue to help and hopefully bring others in. Yeah, you love hearing stuff like this, and I'm glad he got this award. Like, it's really cool, man.
It has an effect. Joseph in the comments said, my mother was a single mother with 2 children. We got jackets 35 years ago. I still remember that. I still remember it to this day. I say thank you. Shout out to Ayo for doing the things he's doing in the community, helping the kids of Chicago. I'm glad it did not go unnoticed by the NBA and NBA cares because he's doing a great job. Okay, so wanted to start on that very positive, happy note. Congrats to our guy Ayo. Let's share a quick word or two from our friends and sponsors. Then let's dive into the very interesting first 48 hours or so the Bulls have had to this 23-24 season. While we are sharing these words, you know what to do if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button as well if you aren't already. Big Dave, tell the fine people out there in Bulls Nation how they can score awesome ticks at great prices with the Game Time app.
Well, I have to ask Joey Spath this. What time is it, Joey?
Game time. Who?
Okay, he was on point. He was ready. That's pregame though,
ready.
Joey. Post game, we gotta be ready when it's in the air when it's the fourth quarter. I'm with you though, but he hit the shot. That's all I can ask. He hit the shot, baby, right on time. Main man Joseph. You
Didn't
shouldn't
call
have to
glass,
worry
but he
what
hit the
time.
shot. It's fine.
No, it went in. That's all we can ask. Like it goes in. He was ready. He was prepared. The form was right. Swish. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event, y'all. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you with killer last-minute deals. All-in prices, views from the seats, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. See the views from your seat before you buy them so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. It's my favorite thing in the world. Oh, the last-minute tickets, the flash deals with it, the zone deals. Easy to find and buy tickets to every kind of event in your area. Lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and even job loss protection. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets to football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. I mentioned those zone deals, but zone deal is when you pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you will save an average of 18% on your tickets. Come on, man. That's the average. Oh, that's amazing. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem that code CHGO. $20 off is what your beautiful self will receive. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Because Matt Peck, what time is it?
Wait, you got to do it again because the mic was muted.
Game Time who?
Ooh,
There we go.
Muting me.
look at that. He didn't even hesitate it. He just put the shot back up.
Man.
Anthony says, Joey, first bucket, who you got tonight, Pat, Will, or Vooch? I'm going Zach, plus 900.
Ooh.
That's unusually good
Wow.
odds for him.
Solid odds for Zach.
Actually went higher than my normal units on that one, so like that one a lot.
Okay.
I saw somebody in the comments earlier saying that they were looking for Zach to have a bounce back game tonight. Matt Skizzy in the comments. Zach needs a bounce back game. I can't remember who. I think it was actually our pal Drew Stevens from It's the Bigs I saw on Twitter earlier today.
Oh.
Between the season opener on Wednesday night, their two play-in games, and their last few games of the regular season, apparently Zach, spanning those games, is on a cold streak behind the arc. Like cold streak. Now, obviously, those games in April were a long time ago. There's no correlation, but wouldn't mind if Zach LaVine catches fire, particularly from deep tonight, as we talk about this team who got up 42 threes on Wednesday, but only shot 28% on those attempts. Today's pregame also brought to you by our wonderful friends at Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since 1988. You know about their incredible beer roster, the Oktoberfest, because it's October, for a few more days. The wonderful IPA Beer Hug family, the Neon Beer Hug, the Tropical Beer Hug, the Hazy Beer Hug, the 312 Wheat Ale. I got myself a little full pocket Pilsner for pregame, and the brand new collab Bull and Goose West Side Ale. You can get these at the United Center. Can't wait to go to the Madhouse and have a couple of these. Delicious, awesome collab stuff going on with Bulls and Goose. Grab an Ultra Fresh Brewery exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown, just a stone's throw from us here at CHGO, or from the Goose Island Pub in the UC. Goose Island Beer Company, it's Chicago's beer. Thank you, Joe. Okay, let's talk about the fallout from the Bulls' 20-point season opener loss to the Thunder on Wednesday. Bulls players reportedly having a heated discussion after that one. Billy Donovan walked in, saw them having a heated discussion, and said, would y'all like some more time to talk about this amongst yourselves? And they said yes. And Billy turned around and walked out. So it was a players-only meeting of sorts. Obviously, it blew up, got a lot of traction. Bulls fans worried about it, hitting the panic button. Then there's practice yesterday, and our guy Will DeGo Gottlieb is at yesterday's practice, and players are talking about what happened after the game. And, Joe, if you have that video that Will shared of DeMar on Twitter yesterday, let's go ahead and play that now. In case you missed it, this was DeMar's answer to Will asking if he was surprised by how quickly things unraveled.
All right, here we go.
Did you understand? Oh, go ahead, Will.
Were you surprised that it kind of boiled over like that in game one?
I mean, yeah, it's always surprising. Game one, getting to that point. It's a long season, man. It's NBA season is a long season. It comes with a lot of ups and downs. And you got to understand that, especially playing in the league. For me, playing in the league for so long, it's such a roller coaster ride of emotions. You got to be able to be even keeled with so much of it. So for sure, with it being game one, going the route that it did, it's game one. But at the same token, that's going to bring something out of us that, we don't got to search for come 10, 15 games later.
What bothered you the most of what happened in the 48 minutes from a team perspective? What bothered you the most?
Just getting our ass kicked at home, first home opener. Just feeling like, that's disrespect to us, disrespect to our fans. We got to, I just know we won't let that happen again. Not from the standpoint of, from an effort standpoint, but, we're going to have games where we probably won't make shots. It may not be our night, but effort-wise, I feel like we could have been a lot better. We could have executed a lot better. And we let, I think it was in the third quarter, we kind of let the game get away from us once things didn't go our way. Frustration kind of set in, whatever you may call it. But we just got to be better from that standpoint, emotionally-wise.
So there is DeMar at yesterday's practice explaining what went wrong and explaining the team meeting of sorts that happened afterward. He put it flatly and accurately, Dave. The Bulls got their asses kicked on Wednesday night, and he said it was disrespectful to them. It was disrespectful to the fans. Hello, he's talking about us. He said it won't happen again, and I saw plenty of Bulls fans, getting their jokes off on Twitter after they heard that quote saying, well, yeah, that's the only home opener. It's not going to happen again until next October if it happens then. But he said from a standpoint of the effort, that part won't happen again, which, okay, great. But I think Bulls fans, rightly so, have these frustrations in the last couple of years when, whether it's DeMar or one of the other leaders of this team, we hear things like this, and then we continue to see the same things play out. How do you not have the effort that is needed for the first game of the season playing on your home floor? That's the part where I hear what DeMar says and I say, okay, great, but now what? Because how do you excuse not having the proper amount of effort, whether or not shots are falling? If effort is a problem and it's a problem that they are all talking about together in the locker room after a 20-point home loss, how is that a problem on October 25th?
I mean, yeah. And when I was thinking about this earlier, my first thought was, well, yeah, I think of when guys are raising the championship banner and they always come out and lay an egg. So, it happens. And then I'm like, well, yeah, they just won a championship, though. So you can kind of excuse that first game, even the second game, if they come out a little slow. Because they just raised a banner. Like, there's a difference. between having all these expectations because you played poorly last year and then coming in your first game at home and just shitting the bed. So you played well in that first half. Like, I shouldn't even say played well. They shot terribly, but they played well. I didn't have a issue about their effort, in the first half. And the first few minutes of the third quarter, I didn't have an issue about their effort. And then it just seemed like once OKC went on this run, they kind of reverted back mentally to, okay, well, this is usually how it goes. Well, all right, this is it. And then the fingers start being pointed. You see Vooch yelling at the coach. You see Kobe telling Vooch to shoot the ball. You just start seeing those fingers start to be pointed. And then comes a meeting. And then after game one, we're already the laughing stock of the NBA. After game one. So, yeah, that's what's frustrating about it, Matt. And to not come, you're right. I can't sit and defend not coming out with effort when you're a team that didn't make the playoffs. And this is all you guys talked about. And then you went to Nashville to get away to become a more whole as a team, and you're still having issues as a team. Like, so when you're looking at it like that, and then coming out in game one at home where it's more magnified and more on you, it's just not a good look at all, man. And I can see that's why I didn't feel like any overreaction to this was unwarranted. I was like, have all the overreactions you want. They deserve all the overreactions for how they played. Like, they deserve it all, man. They put all this on them. So their only saving grace is it's game one. That's the saving grace of it. You can come out in game two tonight and kind of change that whole kind of that whole narrative right now. You can change it about your team starting tonight, but you have to start tonight.
Another player that I think people wanted to hear from and did hear from at practice yesterday was Nikola Vucevic because of, as we discussed at postgame Wednesday night, maybe a lack of involvement for Vooch, especially in the second half as things were starting to go sideways for the Bulls. And the fact that on the broadcast you could see at some point he and Billy were heatedly having an exchange. And Vooch clarified, saying it wasn't so much about my touches. I think stuff that we were running that could have maybe been better for us in the moment. Some of it was touches, but not necessarily for me. And then he continued saying he thought the discussion that was had post-game in the locker room was productive, saying a lot of good things that needed to be said. I think we can really use this to learn and change some things that we need to change. It wasn't anything crazy, no fighting, really constructive. And it's maybe one of the first times since I've been here like this, and it's really needed. And that, Dave, makes me think of what we heard via a column from our guy Will the Goat Gottlieb a few days ago when Alex Caruso was talking about lack of communication on this team. I've never played for a team that talks as less as this team. And Billy Donovan saying over the last couple of weeks, it's about having hard, uncomfortable conversations when you need to have them. So maybe what Vooch said there isn't off base, and maybe it goes along with what Caruso has said and what Billy has said, and that this is an uncomfortable conversation, but it's one that they need to have.
Yeah, and one they should have been having. But fine, if it needs to happen now, cool. Let it happen now. You know me, Matt. I have no problem with the chaos. Let it burn for all I care. Like, I enjoy watching it. I do. Like, because I feel like sometimes it's needed and it's warranted to get some real change, because talking ain't going to get it done. You got to see it on the floor, especially with this team. You got to see it on the floor, because obviously they don't talk. Alex Caruso just told you this. They're not communicating like that. It's not who they are. And it's honestly because a lot of those guys, it's just not in a lot of their natures. You know what I mean? Like, Pat is not like that. We know this. Ayo, he's not a loud talker like that either. So Vooch doesn't seem like he's a dude that's a loud talker. He'll get mad and he'll get frustrated, but he's not one that's doing that. DeMar neither. We don't know Zach to be that kind of guy. So who's going to be that kind of guy, for the team? Who's going to be that one for them to be that loud voice that I've been craving the Bulls to have on his team for a while? Because, again, it's necessary. You have to have an agitator on the team, man. And I don't care if this happens in game 1, 21, 31, or 40, whenever, Matt. It needed to happen. It really did. It really needed to happen for this team, bro, because something was broken in that late third going into the fourth. Something was broken, and it needs to be fixed right the hell now. like right now, tonight. It needs to be fixed. So let's see if it worked. We'll see how they come out and see how they play, man.
Dre5DS in the comments said, they said in the past they had these meetings and conversations before after bad losses, and they still do the same things. Will this meeting actually change anything? That is the big question, as you just articulated. This is a rip the Band-Aid off early, and hopefully what's underneath the Band-Aid isn't still, infected with all kinds of gross pus. What the Bulls have on deck tonight is no easy task. They face the Toronto Raptors, a team that a lot of people see as not a real competitor in the East this season. Obviously, losing Van Vliet is a big hit for them, but they still have Siakam, and they still have this incredible wealth of defensive stars and stalwarts, Dave. They won their season opener a couple nights ago by beating the Minnesota Timberwolves, the same Timberwolves that put up 150 on our asses last season, lest we forget, 97-94. They held Anthony Edwards and Cat and all those dudes to 94 points with a defensive rating of 92.1. They had 9 steals. They had 11 blocks. This Toronto starting lineup, Dave, Siakam, Anunoby, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and Schroeder annoying the hell of people. You got Dennis Schroeder picking guys up full court. And then you have the interior defense of the Raptors, the length of the wing defenders of the Raptors. How do the Bulls get back on track offensively in this one after this Raptors defense just held Minnesota to 34% shooting in their first win?
Oh, also they held them to 25% shooting from three. They were 8 of 31 from the three-point line, which is yikes.
Great.
Oh, man, Matt. The Bulls, I would say this. They do play them tough when they play Toronto. It's never just an easy blowout game. The Bulls actually do play them pretty tough because as long as they are, guys, those little dudes bother them. Like Caruso bothers them. That defense that they put on them bothers them. Javon Carter, like they bother those guys because they can't dribble like that. They really can't. So getting in their face, playing that full court defense, just putting a little bit of pressure on them kind of upsets the apple cart for Toronto a little bit. Now, what they're saving grace against the Bulls usually is the fact that Gary Trent goes crazy against the Chicago Bulls and just hits those threes for them. And of course, they use all their other talents, the Lim, Scotty Barnes, obviously, they do those things as well. The Bulls have to have a game from Zach. Zach plays well against the Raptors. He always has. So they're going to need that game from Zach LaVine. Again, this is a great get-back game for Zach to get back on task, to get back on track for him. We need to see that from him. Kobe White, we need to see that from Kobe White as well. They can't go 8 of 30 again from the field. Kobe and Zach combined were 8 of 30 from the field. I've been told that's not good. So that can't be the case either. So that would be interesting to watch. Torrey Craig will do what Torrey Craig does. He's the only one that shouldn't even been in that meeting with the Bulls. He's the only one. He was awesome in that game.
Or leading it.
Yes. Either that or leading it. Absolutely right. So yeah, like I'm interested to see how they attack them because I think it's going to have to happen defensively because let's not forget, Bulls did give up 124 in that last game, man. A top 5 defense doing that, not good. So you're going to have to do that against the Raptors and play that defense that we know the Bulls can play.
Obviously the Thunder absolutely catching fire from 3 was a part of that problem, shooting nearly 50% beyond the arc. The Raptors are not a great three-point shooting team, but for what it's worth, they did hit 14 of 35 in their season opening win, 40% from deep. We are just past the 7 o'clock hour. That means tip-off is right around the corner. Let's hope that this goes better than Wednesday night. Either way, we will be here to talk about it. Dave is going to be right over here, right over chair. And we will be here for postgame. Hit the thumbs up button before you head out if you're watching along with us on YouTube for pregame. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you are subscribed. And we will see you after the conclusion of Bulls versus Raptors. Let's get a dub, please. Joey, let's get a dub. Let's go. Big Dave, I'll see you in a sec. Bulls Nation, we will see you after the game. Thanks for tuning in to CHGO pregame. brought to you by Circus Sportsbook. Ball night. Let's go.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.